Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today is going to be a what I eat in a day video, plus I just have had some things on my mind that I really want to share with you. Diet changes and some perspective changes on diet and lifestyle that have made a big positive impact in my life. So I'm starting my day off with some juice. If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I used to be massive into juicing. I would drink up to 2 to 3 liters of juice a day. I would, have juice as a meal replacement most of the time. But about a couple of years ago, when I started making big shifts to my diet, I transitioned from juicing more into smoothies and whole foods, just sort of moving away more from the detoxification mindset to more kind of nourishing, balanced mindset just for my personal situation. I still love juice so much. I'll probably make juice 1 to 2 times a week now, and I won't have like a whole liter to myself. I'm just having a glass 20 to 30 minutes before my breakfast. So today is one of those days and I thought I would share this juice with you because it is so delicious. I also wanted to quickly share that I'm using the Nama J3 juicer today. So this, I love this juicer so much. So Nama literally make the best juices in the world. They have a few different ones. And this is their travel juicer. See, I can pick it up really easy. It's the exact same design as their J2, which is their best-selling juicer, and I have that one as well. And even though they call this travel size juicer, which it is, it's totally fine to like just have this type of juicer at home if you're just looking for a general juicer. I wouldn't recommend it if you're looking, like if you drink tons of juice every day and you're looking to do bulk type of juicing, liters and liters a day. But if you're looking to just make juice every day, like have a glass or two, just like smaller style juices, and this juicer is perfect. Like if I was, starting over and kind of living the way that I do now and drinking juice the way that I do now, this is the juicer that I would get. I don't necessarily think you need a bigger juicer. And it is so light and gorgeous design. Like I literally leave this up on my counter because it enhances the way that my kitchen looks. I've tried so many juices over the years and Nama is hands down the best juicer that I've ever had. As I said, it's so beautiful to look at, so easy to use, so easy to clean. And they do have their biggest sale on at the moment, their Black Friday sale. So you can get $65 off this juicer. If you're looking to get a new juicer, this is definitely the time to do it. So just leave me a comment below if you're interested in the discount code and I will reply with that for you. So let's get juicing. So I thought I'd take this time to have a quick chat with you, a really kind of vulnerable, raw, open and honest chat. Where to begin? So I've been getting a lot of questions lately about why I now eat cooked foods. I was a raw vegan for pretty much, almost 12 years. A really long time. Trying to cut a long story short, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've struggled with chronic illness for a very long time, for about 12 years. I changed my diet and lifestyle and did all that, and I got some really amazing results. I just got to a point where diet wasn't really doing much anymore for me, and it was actually sending me the other way. I got into a really unhealthy mindset around diet, I think. I didn't realize it at the time, and I know, I've kind of seen that a lot of raw vegans do get into this mindset of raw vegan is the only way to heal, cooked food is the devil. And I also got into this negative cycle of detoxing. So I wasn't getting the healing results that I thought raw veganism was going to give me. So I thought that the reason that was because I wasn't detoxing enough. I wasn't fasting enough. And all of that, and my body was dirty, and that's why I was still struggling with chronic illness. And it makes sense that me and a lot of people do get into that belief system, because a lot of people out there, a lot of gurus, they teach that. The reason you're struggling is because you haven't detoxed enough. You haven't got your body clean enough. I was doing like many long water fasts, juice fasts, and I was also getting into dry fasting, which, yeah, you know, we're all on unique journeys, but I don't recommend dry fasting to anyone. That really pushed me over the edge, and my body and my health and my mind, yeah, were not in a good place at that point. So I did have like a realization that I was pushing my body too hard, but I don't know, I was very confused. I'd had this belief pattern in my mind for so long that raw veganism was the way and detox was the way. It was very, I guess that was an egoic thing. It was very difficult for me to kind of give that belief up, and I was just left feeling very confused. I didn't know where to turn. Anyway, that was when I discovered brain rewiring, and I started working with a compassionate based brain rewiring coach. There's a lot of different types of brain rewiring coaches out there. Things started to really changed for me at that point. A lot of my beliefs were challenged, and that's when my eyes just really started to open up to some new ways of thinking. I started learning with this coach all about the nervous system. I've never heard about the nervous system before. I didn't know what it was, what it did, and about the flight or fight response. I had heard about that before, but kind of not in relation to the nervous system. So again, to cut a long story short, I learned that I had definitely been in a chronic state of fight or flight for a very long time, not just 12 years through my health and wellness journey, but many years before that. And that when your body is in that flight or fight stress response, it doesn't function as well as it could, and therefore it does inhibit the healing process a lot. And a lot of it is to do with your body in this stress response because it doesn't feel safe. There's been different practices or ways of living that you might have been in for a long period of time, which has caused this stress response. That definitely happened to me. If we don't learn how to come out of that stress response, you get stuck in that response, basically, and your body is constantly feeling unsafe and stressed. This obviously contributes to a whole host of problems, one of those also being health issues and your inability to perhaps not heal as best as you can. So that made a lot of sense to me. Again, there's a lot more I could go into, but I basically have been working with this coach, doing different practices to help my body come back into a safe state. I've been working to soothe my nervous system, and we've been working a lot on the mind and reconditioning old belief patterns that might not be serving me anymore. And just in relation to diet, I think having that belief pattern of, you know, raw veganism is the only way. If I ever eat any cooked food again, you know, that's a really terrible thing. I also had the belief that I couldn't eat cooked food because there had been a few times on my raw vegan journey where I had felt called to try and eat cooked foods again. And every time I tried to eat cooked food, my body would just react so negatively, like extremely negatively. I remember this one time after eating some sweet potato and some steamed veggies, my body went into such a stress response that I was lying on the couch shortly afterwards and I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, like my body was in this paralysis state. And back then I just thought it was because cooked food is bad and that's what it was doing to my body. But in reality, it was the stress response I was having to the cooked food. My body was so subconsciously frightened to eat it that when I did, it completely freaked out. So I've been working with this coach for a while and I felt ready to try and incorporate some cooked foods into my diet again, just to sort of recondition my body to know that it is safe and that I do have the ability, that my body is strong enough to be able to adapt to change. And I'd done a lot of nervous system work for about a year prior to this. And when I introduced cooked foods this time, it was a completely different experience. I had absolutely no negative response to it at all, because usually my digestion would get so much worse, my energy would be completely drained, and I had those other extreme responses that I shared with you before. Nothing, like it was completely fine. So this really, I had that first-hand experience that it wasn't the cooked foods. Cooked foods doesn't make me respond negatively. It was just this conditioning, these belief patterns in my brain about cooked foods. So that was a really eye-opening experience for me and made me sort of shift my perspective even more around diet and these sorts of things. So yeah, that's why I eat cooked foods now. It was more so this journey to soothing my nervous system, rewiring my brain, my belief system. So I've been eating cooked foods now for about 6 to 8 months, and it's still been an amazing experience. I'm going to continue eating cooked foods. I do feel that it has brought a bit more balance into my being. I feel a lot more nourished, definitely a lot more satiated. Almost got to the point where, I was craving something different. I was kind of getting a little bit over eating all of the sweet fruit, because when you're on a raw vegan diet, you do need to get most of your calories from sweet fruits because they're the most caloric dense or the higher fats. I never did too well on high fat. I did struggle with a lot of liver issues, so that was probably why. But just to let you know, I eat much higher fat these days. That also changed a lot since doing the brain rewiring work. I eat fats every single day now with absolutely no problem, so that has been an amazing experience too. And yeah, it's been a bit tricky, vulnerable to share all of this online, because I definitely had like this identity about being a raw vegan. It was a big part of the community that I've created online, and I was worried about what people would think. But it's been quite lovely. People have typically been more curious than anything, just asking questions about it, which has been really lovely. So I thought I would share my experience with you guys here on YouTube as well. I just feel much happier, just more balanced with the diet that I'm eating now. I'm not saying it, will never change again, but it's been a beautiful experience to be able to help my body to feel safe, to adapt to change. And yeah, something else I wanted to chat about was my completely different perspective on diet now in relation to the whole one diet for everyone kind of belief. I definitely believed that the raw vegan diet was for everyone, that everyone should be eating a raw vegan diet, that it was the most natural diet for humans. But to be completely honest, now I simply don't believe that. I mean, obviously in relation to my experience, I've come to a place where, I'm not raw vegan anymore, and I feel like that suits me a lot better at this time in my life. I definitely still love the raw vegan diet, and you can't argue that there are people out there living the raw vegan lifestyle and absolutely thriving. But there are also countless people out there who are eating all different types of diets and who are thriving as well. It depends on your genetics. It depends on your ancestors, how they ate, and that's being passed down to you. It depends on your health and wellness levels, like where you're at in your health journey, your toxicity levels. It depends on your life, what you've been through, the trauma that you've been through physically and emotionally, mentally and spiritually. There are so many things that affect the way that we eat, and yeah, I've just really come to the realization that people can thrive on different ways of eating. And I think this new way of thinking has really helped me, has really kind of set myself free from this whole diet dogma. I'm no longer, yes, perhaps I used to be quite judgmental about the way other people used to eat. And I'm totally no longer like that anymore. Like, I just feel so free when it comes to the way I eat and the way other people eat. And I'm just happy, like if someone has a way of eating that makes them feel good and they're thriving, then that's fantastic. Like, let's celebrate that. I see a lot of people out there trying to share their personal stories and transformations of finding a way of eating that works for them, and other people just totally bashing them negatively because it challenges their beliefs and their way of eating, and they see, they get so defensive and they bring this other person down. It's like, let's just let people eat what they want to eat and what makes them feel good. Yes, if someone doesn't feel good and they're looking for support, that's perhaps more of an invitation to share what you're doing and your opinion and to try and help them in that way. But if someone's doing something and it's working for them, I don't see a reason to try and bring them down. I still believed that like a whole foods diet is the optimal for humans, processed food, junk food, like I don't even I don't even see that as food. If people want to eat a little bit of that with their otherwise healthy diet, that's fine. Again, I'm trying not to be as judgmental these days. But yeah, I'm still passionate. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm still passionate about raw foods and whole foods. I'm just so much more flexible and open and curious to what works for other people and celebrating that. I'd love to know your thoughts on all of that. Have you ever been stuck in this really strong belief pattern about one particular diet? Have you noticed that people do seem to bring other people down that
aren't eating the same way that they are. Yeah, I'd just love to hear your thoughts about all of that. Anyway, I'm gonna go and finish this delicious green smoothie, and I will see you guys for lunch.